Hey, Derek Keet, Remax Elite here. So today we've got the question, must you be pre-approved by a bank before you can buy, before you can put in an offer, before you can work with a real estate agent, right? Before we get started, please like, subscribe, give me that thumbs up, show me some love. Thank you. All right. Now this question for me is a little bit personal. So when I was asked this in the past, I felt like it was walking into a store, right? And the real estate agent or the seller in the store asks you, can you afford this? Right? Are you wasting my time? And when you're asked in that way, you take offense to it naturally, right? So that was my kind of take before I became a real estate agent. And so to that question, I would say, hell no, right? Must you be pre-approved? No, right? But then as I became a real estate agent and I heard people saying, hey, I won't work with any buyers unless they're pre-approved, I was like, well, that's cold, right? But then I started to kind of dive in a little bit. And even like last week, I was talking with someone from the bank and she was saying as well, like, yeah, it's harder for people to get approved for mortgages, right? So people think they can go in and they can get something and in the end, maybe they can't. I understand why there are agents out there that'll say, well, you must be pre-approved before I'll work with you. Now, my thinking on it is a little more loose, but at the same time, if someone doesn't have any idea about their finances, that's also a problem too, right? Because the idea is, yes, it might waste the real estate agent's time, sure. It might waste the seller's time, sure. But it also wastes the buyer's time, right? And the buyer themselves, if they find a place that they really like, they might get their dreams crushed as well, right? So all of this, as a real estate agent, you need to ask yourself, how can you best support the buyer? And a lot of the time, making sure that the buyer has spoken to a bank, or at least that they understand their finances, and you have that communication with them, that's quite important, right? So my answer to the question is, must you get pre-approved? I think the letter from the bank is not the most important thing. The thing is that should you understand your finances? Yes. Should you understand where you can buy and what amount you should be able to buy from? Definitely, right? And I think that's the important point here, right? Not the idea of needing to get a letter, but more of understanding your finances. And if that means going to a bank, talking over your financing, then definitely